The Post-Discard Battle, Part 2. The first battle that takes place after you have been discarded by us is the emotional battle. That is a battle that you are always destined to lose. You will always fight at least one emotional battle because you do not know any other way. In all likelihood, you will face several of these post-discard battles because you will keep being hoovered back into our grasp until such time as you learn to recognize what you are dealing with and understand what you must do. Eventually, and this may take several emotional battles before you realize this and are capable of achieving the appropriate response, you either evade the emotional battle by escaping, as opposing to being discarded, or you prepare yourself for the eventual discard in a matter which means you no longer have to ensure engaging the emotional battle. Instead, you immediately move on to the next post-discard battle, that of head against heart. The head versus heart battle, also known as the logic versus emotion battle, is a battleground where you stand some chance of victory. This battleground is one where you have gained understanding. It might be through your repeated exposure to our kind, so that eventually something has clicked into place, or more often than not, it is a consequence of an external agent who has explained matters to you. It might be a therapist, a friend, the content of a book, something you saw on YouTube, or even something that I have written. Whatever has caused this understanding to increase, it is this which provides you with a fighting chance to win this head versus heart battle. You have been discarded, and you have run the gamut of emotional fallout thereafter. You may understand what we are. You may understand some of the things that we have done. You may be familiar with the fact that we will try to hoover you back into our grip. You may even be starting to comprehend that what has happened was all predicated on an illusion. The degree of understanding will vary, but what is important for you is that you are allowing logical thought to be heard above the raw heat of your emotions. You once again will not just be battling against us, but also yourself. We will be looking to hoover you in order to draw you back into our grip, or perhaps we will be unleashing a malign hoover, since we are unable to draw you back into our false reality, and therefore we opt to keep extracting negative fuel from you by way of punishment for your treachery. You have us as an opponent, but you will also be fighting yourself, as your emerging logic grapples with the still churning emotion. You have learned many things, and you know you should apply what you have learned, but still there is the emotional pull that you experience. You are not removed or detached from your emotions. They have not dimmed either. They are still there, raging away. The hurt, the love, the longing, the passion, the fear, and the upset. An ocean of emotion, which you once tried to cross, but that was the emotional battle, and you had barely taken 4 strokes as you began to swim before you were engulfed by the emotion and sank to the bottom of the sea, drowned by your own emotion. Now you have built a vessel. It is made from cool, hard logic. Critical thinking, once a stranger to you during your savage devaluation, has reappeared. You can analyze and assess. It is unlikely you are able to do so at the level you once enjoyed before we came along, but it is there. Whether this vessel is a tiny raft, a dinghy, a boat, or a hulking great liner depends very much on the extent of your understanding. The choppy emotional seas will smash against your vessel of logic. A wave of sorrow will buffet you. A tsunami of longing will threaten to swamp you once again. Wave after wave of emotion will try and capsize your vessel as you try to navigate the emotional ocean. Chances are your life raft will be smashed to matchwood, and you will be tipped into the sea to drown once again as emotion subsumes you, and you find yourself back in our hold. Your clipper may be holed beneath the waterline, and you start taking on board more and more emotion as steadily you sink beneath the emotional waves once again. It is during this head versus heart battle as you try to cross the emotional ocean, because what you must do is reach the dry land beyond and in effect put an ocean between you and us. You will be subjected to the push and pull of your emotions trying to guide you, to control your decision making. Your head will tell you one thing as your heart screams something else at you. This is probably the harder battle for you to fight. In the first emotional battle, you do not stand a chance, and your defeat is swift and total. During the second battle, the battle of head versus heart, you will make gains, suffer losses, seem to be making a breakthrough, and then out of nowhere, a tidal wave will flip you from your boat and into the churning ocean, and you drown once again. All the while, we will be whipping up the waves, firing our torpedoes at you, as we endeavour to sink you into this emotional ocean once again, and therefore you will fail to cross it, and fail to win this battle. How does this head versus heart battle manifest in the real world? 1. You will know you ought not to contact us, but you need to send a message to see if we respond. 2. You will keep checking our social media profiles to ascertain if you are mentioned, if we are with somebody else, and or to find out what we are doing. 3. You will ask about us to our coterie and lieutenants, often unwittingly doing this, so this is fed back to us. 4. You will go on dates, but find you are always comparing this new person to us, and they are always found to be wanting. 5. You know what the outcome will be, but you just want one more night with us. 6. You realise that we are unlikely to change, but if you do not try, you will never know. So it is worth one more attempt to speak, isn't it? 7. You understand much of what we did and said was a lie, but surely it could not have all been an illusion. There must have been times when we really did love you, and you need to ask us about this. 8. You know we are bad for you, but you cannot help what you feel. Surely it would be better to stop this pain from being there all the time, and just have it occasionally. 9. You know you should not reply to our messages, but it feels so good to have a conversation with us again. It has been too long. 10. You know we are using you, but it feels so damn good. 11. One kiss cannot hurt, can it? 12. You know better now, so going back will be different, because you know what to expect. Armed with this new knowledge, you can enter the lion's den again, but be better prepared. 13. You know we are bad for you, but you cannot bear the thought of someone else being with us, and perhaps them being the one where it works. 14. What if this time the apology from us is sincere, and the desire to change is real? If you walked away from that, you would only be denying yourself happiness, wouldn't you? 15. You understand engaging with us is dangerous, but there are things you really need to tell us. These, and others besides, are all examples of the inherent tension that arises in this tug of war between your cool intellect and your burning emotions. Can you win this battle that rages post-discard? Unlike the first battle, the emotional battle, which you can never win, you can be victorious. You may have to fight this second battle many, many times before securing the win. In the beginning, you may be clinging to little more than a log as you desperately try to sail the emotional ocean and you are swept from it. However, by reading and understanding, by disciplining yourself to apply logic, to prevent your emotions from engulfing you, by reading more and increasing your knowledge, you will begin to increase your logic vessel, from log to raft to dinghy. Still, you may be swamped and drowned again, but then it becomes a small boat, a yacht, a clipper, a steamer, a passenger liner, a frigate, a destroyer, and a supertanker. Each time you rebuild, better, bigger, and stronger, as you learn more, making the vessel more seaworthy. You begin to chart routes, so you avoid the most tumultuous emotional areas, finally beginning to steer through calmer waters until there it is, on the horizon, the sight of land and the final battle that occurs with our kind post-discard. This second battle, the battle of head versus heart, is not an easy battle. You will fight it several times. You will try no contact several times. But each time you should be better prepared to cross the emotional ocean and improve your prospects of success. Sometimes you are taken unawares by some of our provocative tactics, and thus you are dumped unceremoniously into the water once again. But it is a battle you can win through the dedicated application of knowledge and understanding.